Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday, happy July to you as we turn the calendar and move into the second half of this year. Hard to believe how quickly it's gone. I hope you're staying cool out there. Boy, it is oppressively hot and lots of dangers, lots of warnings. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself and saying, as I say that, my glasses are fogging up. Please stay cool and stay hydrated and stay out of the sun and take care of yourself. It is so good to be with you and to bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, July 1st. I'm really glad the weather wasn't like this last week when we were in St. Louis for our youth mission trip. We did a lot of outside work at community garden, at some churches, did a picnic dinner down at the Arch, and we had beautiful weather. So very thankful that it wasn't too hot out there. But what an amazing trip. Mission trips are always just so transformative in a lot of ways. I am still both flying high and recovering from 5 days in St. Louis and sleeping on air mattresses and getting up early and all the things that go along with these mission trips. Such a great group of youth, 15 of them, and then the 4 adults. We all worked together really well. It was just a really great trip. You'd have been so proud of this team and how hard they worked. And how much they learned about the history of racism in St. Louis. What a complicated city, what a complicated situation with all the racism and how it has impacted that community, how it's divided neighborhoods, how it has destroyed livelihood and culture. It was really eye-opening and sobering for all of us to visit the Dred and Harriet Scott exhibit and to learn about Mill Creek, this vibrant community which was destroyed. The moment that's going to stick with me, and there's always a moment, right, from a mission trip that sticks with you that you remember. So we had a host there. Her name was Jackie, and Jackie was a retired minister in the St. Louis area. And then we had 2 interns, Walker, a young white man, a college student, and then Jay, a young African-American man. And they were with us anytime we went to do work or went on our learning experiences. And they led our morning gathering time with songs and scripture reading. They were with us every evening for check-in. We had prayer partners where we prayed. We drew a name out of an envelope each day, and at the end of the day, we said something that we had observed about that person. So it was always interesting to hear who got whom else as a prayer partner and what they said about them and how they observed them. That was a really, really powerful moment. But the one I think that sticks out for me the most is our last afternoon there. We went to Forest Park. It's this park in the middle of St. Louis. It's bigger than Central Park in New York City. And it was the host of the 1904 World's Fair. And we just gone to the History Museum to see an exhibit about the fair alongside the exhibit about Mill Creek. And then we went to the last standing building from that 1904 fair, which was this open air pavilion. And while we were in there, we started dreaming about what could we take back from our mission trip to Lexington. And the youth had some amazing ideas about how we can take what we learned and put it into play here in Lexington. And I'm so excited to see what comes of that and how we can work to improve racial relations in our city and how we can help our youth and our congregation understand more about that. But once we finished all that work and our ideas, Jay, who was pretty quiet spoken, stood up and he said, "Hey, I'd like to say something to the group." And he said, "I love the ideas you've talked about. You all have done a lot of learning on this trip. You've seen what it's like, the effect that racism has." But he's kind of making the point that don't think you understand everything because you all are white and Jay was black. And so he was saying, don't ever take for granted the privileges you have, but also make sure you're always trying to see things through the eyes of the other person, to see what it's like for them to have to live in this world. And as he was talking, he looked out the pavilion and he said, "That's what we're trying to do." And we all looked out there and there was a little African-American girl and a little white girl playing together, sitting on a bench, just playing together and laughing and talking. He's like, "That's what we're trying to work towards." And we all turned and just watched them for a few seconds. And it was so powerful for him to say to us, this is the world you're working for, where people can be in relationship, can be in community, but never have to worry about how the color of their skin impacts their value, impacts the beauty people see in them, impacts their worth and their ability to be a part of this world. Jay was the only person who could have said that. And the fact that he said that and then had this tangible example to point to was just incredibly powerful. That's what I'm going to take away from this. How can we work towards a world where our kids can play together and not have to worry about how the color of their skin impacts that? That people can be in this world and not have to worry about who they are being judged or devalued. That's who God calls us to be. That's the peaceable kingdom God calls us to work towards. And Crestwood, today, work towards that. Do what you can to bring peace into this world. God bless you, Crestwood.